Alright, welcome to the Tiger Podcast. So today we will talk about the NFL playoffs and a recap of a kind of blowout national championship. Kind of the same it was last year. But everything went okay throughout most of the week. So we'll start with the national championship. So I thought Washington was going to beat Michigan by, the one thing that Washington is really, really, really good at. Explosive plays. Too bad Michigan limited that and won by 3 touchdowns. So, I think Michael Penix Jr. is exposed. And now, when he probably will head up to the draft, what will Washington do in the Big Ten? It's going to be hard. They have to go to Penn State. They have to host Michigan in a rematch of the national championship game. And then they have to go to Oregon at the end of the year. It's not going to be an easy road for Washington next year. Meanwhile, Michigan, on the other hand, like I said, they have to go to Washington. They don't play Penn State. I don't know why, but who cares? Ohio State, at Ohio State. So maybe they have a couple of games on their schedule that are hard, even though they practically played nobody last year. Alright, so yeah, Michigan went on to win. And we had some breaking news from Alabama. Kalen DeBoer is heading to Alabama in replace of Nick Saban. Remember when I posted that short saying that I would be shocked if Nick Saban will retire? Well, apparently he did. And my best dream came true. Because now, LSU is probably going to kick Alabama next year. And I can say for one thing, that would be great, man. I would love to blow out Alabama. They do it to us practically all the time. So I would really like a taste of revenge in my mouth right now. But, of course, Kalen DeBoer replaces Nick Saban. I'm pretty sure all of you are shocked. LSU just has to improve their defense, though, to beat Alabama because Jalen Monroe is returning. But we are getting a new defensive coordinator. That might have GX Tigers fans breathe a sigh of relief. Alright, back to the NFL playoffs. So our first game is coming up in 45 minutes or something? The Browns play the Texans. Now the Texans, they look like a Cinderella story team, and that's because they are. I agree. Houston will win and advance to the divisional. And they might play the Ravens. I'm picking Houston 35-32. I think the Texans defense, they're going to allow a couple scores, but they're going to clamp up in that fourth quarter. And what's the Texans kicker's name? Isn't it like Fairburn or something? Anyway. And yeah. That's how the Texans win. They went on a game-winning field goal. The last time he tried to kick a game-winning field goal back against the Jags in November, it bonked off the crossbar. And it did not go in. And I feel bad for all those Texans fans. It's hard. It's heartbreaking so badly. It will break your heart. But Houston will bounce back and possibly play the Ravens in the divisional round where they get very easily win that game. So Miami and Kansas City play. This is going to be the 4th coldest game in NFL postseason history if it happens. So the wind chill is making it seem like minus 30 degrees. I am not lying. Minus 30 degrees. It's going to feel like minus 30 degrees even though the real temperature is minus 1 degree. Man, have you ever played in that water? South Carolina never gets snow, okay? Never. The last time we got snow was 2021. And I've never felt a cold like that one since then. But now Miami has to play in it with an explosive offense. Give me an upset. Give me Miami to upset the Chiefs. And somehow, in some way, maybe, just maybe, they can pull this off. And they will, 13-7. So, I mean, I feel bad. Oh, here's some breaking news for you guys. The Buffalo Steelers game has been moved to Monday at 4:30. So the next game we're actually picking is Green Bay and Dallas. Now I said, like, here's one of our guest pictures right here. Dallas is a pretty good team. Especially when they're at home. They destroy people when they're at home. They have amazing star power. Get it? Since our logo is a star. And now Green Bay is looking to spoil things. I don't know how this is true, but Green Bay has won the last 9 out of 10 against Dallas. Excuse me? When was their last win? Their last win at home versus the Packers was 2007. Really? Come on now. Really? But, yeah. The home field advantage is just too much for Green Bay. I'm picking them 49-23. There's going to be fireworks in the building. The Cowboys will also get to host another playoff game if they win. And they're going to play, I think they would play the 5 or 4 seed. I don't know who they would play, but it would definitely be a mystery, I'm pretty sure. So now, LA and the Lions. This is the first game in NFL history when the starting QB for both teams has played on the opposing team. Because Matthew Stafford used to play at the Lions and Jared Goff used to play at the Rams. How crazy is that? So, yeah, I know this game is in Detroit. This is Ford Field's first playoff game since 1994. Bam. That was 30 years ago. And that's just crazy. I didn't think it would be that long. Come on. And so not Dallas. LA pulls off the upset. Why do I say that? Well, LA is just, they're an underrated team. Nobody thought they were going to make the playoff. And this is a crazy, it's going to be high scoring. 43-37 in overtime. Yeah, this game is going to go to overtime. That game is tomorrow. And now we will pick Buffalo and the Steelers. And this game was moved to 4:30 because of dangerous weather in Buffalo. So, yeah, it's going to be hard for Pittsburgh to win. I know they played in harsh temperatures before, but it's going to be nothing like Buffalo. It's always cold. Like, what's up with all these AFC teams that have cold stadiums, like Buffalo and Kansas City and, isn't there another team? There's one more team in the NFC, like Green Bay, Chicago. But, you know, Minneapolis and Lions have domes on top of them, so it doesn't really get cold. This is going to be actually a little bit more high-scoring than you think because, you know, the game's being played in the snow, clearly. Pittsburgh wins 24-20 just because, Pittsburgh's going on the road in every single game in the playoffs. That's the horror to be the 7th seed. Even if you do advance, you're still going on the road. You never get to host a playoff game. And the Steelers looked like they weren't even going to make the playoffs, but they somehow snuck in because the Jaguars lost. On our last game, Tampa Bay and the Eagles. Yeah, I don't get it. Because the Eagles were 10-1. They were 10-1 heading into week 13. Then they lost to the 49ers. Then they lost to the Cowboys. Then lost to the Seahawks. They beat the Giants. Lost to the Cardinals at home. How? How do you lose to the Cardinals? And then they lost at the Giants. This has been the biggest collapse I've seen. It's crazy. But anyway, Tampa Bay had a miracle of the season. Kind of, not really, but it makes a lot of sense that Tampa Bay's in this position because it really doesn't make sense for the Saints to win the title. Neither does the Falcons or Panthers, and so we got the Bucs here. Bucs versus Eagles. This game's in Tampa. And so it's gonna be a lot of fun to see this game and do all this work but Tampa Bay, it's gonna be rainy in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay wins by 3 touchdowns, 24-3. Because Eagles, they're without AJ Brown. Jalen Hurts is going to play, but he got a fractured right finger or something. And so, yeah, Tampa Bay. Here's a fun fact. All these wildcard games are doubleheaders, and all of them are not being played at 1. All of them are being played at either 4:30 or 8:15. True. Here, I'll give you an example. Houston game, 4:30. Miami game, 8:15. Dallas game, 4:30. LA game, 4:15. 8:15. Pittsburgh game, 4:30. Tampa Bay game at 8:15. See? But it's going to be a really nice weekend for football. And so according to my calculations, the Ravens will play the lowest remaining seed. So that would be, they would play Pittsburgh. The 49ers would play, they would play LA. Dallas would play, they would play Tampa. And then Houston would play Miami. That's kind of a weird matchup, Houston and Miami, because Houston would get the home field advantage. So if every single one of my teams wins, except maybe for Pittsburgh and Miami, the playoff picture could change, and maybe everything. Maybe there could be upsets. Maybe the Lions will advance. But I have one last thing to say. How about them Cowboys? They're going to win. They're going to win this game. And thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like to the channel. And I'll see you next time on the Tiger Podcast.